Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to show you something very different. Now we will be calling to OpenAI. We will be getting a response, but this time response will be in the format of what we want based on the classes what we are defining. So rather than getting the simple JSON, which is the default structure, we will be tweaking it into our own form. So let's get started. And in order to get started, you need to install Pydantic as well as instructor libraries. So I'm on my VS Code and let me zoom this a bit so that you can see this clearly. Okay, so I have already imported OS and I'm setting my OpenAI key as an environment variable. So once that is done, we need to go ahead and say import OpenAI, and then we need to say import instructor. And the last thing we need is Pydantic. So we'll say from Pydantic import base model. So this is the gem. This is these two are the classes which are going to do that structured kind of thing for us. So once these are defined, let me quickly execute this cell. So these are the three things we need, and then we need to define the client. So here we will be using OpenAI because as of today, this system supports only OpenAI for structuring the output. So I'm going to create an object with the name LLM client, and here we will be calling instructor.patch. So inside this patch we need to pass what or which LLM we are using. So I would say OpenAI. Okay, so if you will hover over this, you can see that it is saying that patch the client. So if you are doing this, you will get these four different parameter: response model, max retries, validation context, and the strict. So in this particular video, I'm just going to show you how can you hook up these things rather than discussing all the four different parameters. So once this is constructed, next thing is we need to go and define our class structure. What kind of data are we expecting? So you need to define the structure, what you want to extract out of the response from the LLM. And make sure that you are defining accurately because this model will map directly to the information in the prompt itself. So let's create a class named population detail because I'm going to extract two different values, country and what is its population. So definitely I need to create two properties in this class. So let's go ahead and define this first. So I'm saying base model, and here we can say country name, which is of type string. And another thing we need is population, which is of type integer. So once this is defined, we are done with our structure definition. So whatever output we will be getting from LLM, we just want these two different things. We don't want any extra stuff in the output. Okay, so once this is defined, next thing is we need to make a call to chat completion. So let's go ahead and do that. And I want to store my output in this variable. So let's go ahead and say population detail, which is our class, and then LLM client dot. Here we are just making chat completion call, nothing special we are doing here, and we'll say create. So inside this function create, we need to pass which model we want to use. So I'm going to use GPT-3.5 Turbo hyphen 3.5 Turbo, and the second parameter we need is the response model. Which class do you want to associate with this one? So let's go ahead and say response model, and here you define your class name. So in our case it is population detail, and the final thing is, as usual, we need to define the roles. So here we will be using messages, which is a list, and you can define as number of messages you want. So I'm just going with single role, and here say user. Next thing is we need to define what content user will be giving. So let's define that. So if you want, you can just define the question here itself, the population of Canada. Okay, so let me execute this as well. Okay, so we are good to go, and I will quickly show you what this data contains. And you can see that the our output is just these two names. So if you want to have country name, you just say country name and it will give you only the country name. So whatever other information which LLM was returning, we will not be getting those. We will just be getting what we want. Now here I've just given the question, so it is nothing but the user query. So this is the question which user is going to supply in a prompt. And if I'm getting if I'm giving something like, let's say, population of ABC is 2000. Let me execute this and show you if it works in this particular type of setup. And you can see that it was able to extract the detail. So this is how we can utilize this instructor and the pydantic to get the structured output based on our requirement. So I hope you will be able to utilize this feature whenever you are constructing the complex model and you don't want to parse the text on your end. So this is the feature for you. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and do let me know in comments what are your use cases for this particular feature. Thanks for watching.